Around a month ago, the classmate that I'm sitting next to right now asked me to work on this huge project with him that was gonna cost us a lot of energy, but it was gonna be really beneficial for our creativity and for our bond as a friendship. And when he proposed it to me, I was nothing but interested. I was fascinated. I was hooked onto it right away. You see, he's a really huge animal enjoyer, and not just like the current animals. He knows all of the species. He's literate in any kind of dinosaur that you can think about, any kind of prehistoric animal, in any kind of environment, in any kind of age, in any kind of location. He's got you covered. And he is also interested heavily in geography. And so he got this really wonderful idea of us creating our own world in his like notebook that we could draw in. He first wanted me to draw the entire map. He wanted me to draw it. And so I was like, yeah, sure, okay. Give me the pencil. He gave it to me. I drew like the borders because first we drew like the 2D map and I immediately went for it. I drew the first continent. I drew the second one and the third one and like all of the other islands that were randomly scattered all around the world. And let me tell you, it was one of the most fulfilling and one of the most oddly satisfying experiences that I felt in a long while. Whilst this was happening, and when I was drawing the continents, I wasn't even thinking about it. All I did was just follow my intuition, you can call it, and just going with the flow. Like, for example, if my heart just felt like, yeah, I go left right now, I went for it. If my heart told me, oh, just keep on drawing a straight line, I would, I would continue drawing a straight line. And until a certain point, when it would tell me, okay, turn right, I would go for it. I basically followed it. And that was one of the main reasons why I managed to actually draw it, like the entire world map, in just 5 minutes. Of course, it wasn't the complete version of it, but we still had a really high quality chart to work with for the time being. And after that, oh boy, we got into one of the biggest flows of all time. We drew like the biomes, we drew the volcanoes, the natural disasters, we drew more islands, we drew mountains. We also started to think about what kind of animals would live in these environments. We even added dragons to the world because why not? It is fictional, and when you think about it, dragons can actually evolve in our like in the real life because the DNA and stuff like that. I'm not really literate in biology, but I'm sure that the DNA can mutate somehow to create a dragon DNA, which would be nice. And eventually, after some time, after we drew all of the biomes and we put all of the animals in there, well, not all of them, but basically like the main representatives of like their families. After we put them there, we started to name the continents. And by us, I mean myself, because he led all of that for me. He was the geologist and the biologist. He was the guy who put the animals and the plants and all of the other wildlife into that planet. And it was me who was drawing like all of the geographical stuff, so like the islands, the biomes, the continents themselves, the oceans, whatever. And so it was up to me to name all of the biomes and all of the islands, all of the oceans, all of the continents. And it is still quite fun. We're still working on it until this day. And I'm really interested in how it will evolve in the future. This got me by surprise when he first asked me around a month ago to start working on it, because if you were to know me in real life, you would see me as this really busy guy who is constantly on his phone. Not to complain about anything, but like all of my classmates, I don't want to say that they're complete degenerates, but in a way, they kind of are because they scroll on social media. I don't really have that many common topics to talk about with them. Like, yeah, sure, they're actual nice people when you talk to them one on one, like between four eyes, but yeah, there's really nothing much. And so I spend most of my time in online communities watching, I don't know, some courses, spending time on, I don't know, reading books, for example, just in the digital world where I can connect to like minded people who can be literally on the other side of the planet, but with whom I relate to thousands of times more oftenly than with the people around me. And also, he maybe saw me as this huge businessman because I don't know if he knows about our clan, but he maybe saw like the profile picture because I sometimes check the YouTube studio whilst in class, so he may be suspicious of something, but whatever. He's a nice guy, so he wouldn't snitch, but one thing is for certain. He respects me, and he wanted to work on something with me, not because he was bored or anything, but because he wanted to enhance the relationships with us also. And not like through the professional sense, like he wanted to help me with my business or give me some book recommendations. No, he did it the other way around, through our inner children. And let me tell you, that was the better gift that he could have ever given me in the first place. Because, of course, we can talk about financial advice, about health advice, about relationships advice for hours on end. And yeah, sure, I would deeply appreciate that if you could join our clan and talk about with me in there. You are still invited, of course. However, when you work with me on something that enhances my creativity, that brings me happiness in the short term, not through instant pleasure, but through instant progress, that actually kind of matters in the long term as well. When you give me something that expands my horizons, that brings me closer to understanding my subconscious mind, that is a better gift as well. It is actually way better. And you need these kinds of people in your life also that help you bring out your inner child and help it expand. Because, of course, we didn't just create like all the biomes for nothing, we created also lore for the entire world. We also created like civilizations, not like advanced like humans, but basically like primitive like monkeys, but kind of advanced. Like they could communicate, they could create primitive weapons like spears or pickaxes, for example, if they wanted to. But you get my point. What if I told you that inside of your body you have this colossal tool that you can use whenever you need it to tap into your creativity and basically become the embodiment of your inner child and help it advance itself in any kind of situation? You have it inside of you. And do you know and do you want to know what that is? It is your subconscious mind. The thing that you've been consciously hiding from yourself this entire time. Let's get back in the story when I was drawing the continents, the intuition that I was talking about. You can also call it following your heart, you can call it your subconscious mind, whatever. What I did there was I basically turned off my conscious mind completely and I let that subconscious part of myself completely take over. So when it would tell me turn right, I didn't give a single thought into it and I immediately went for it. And in the end, I created a fulfilling masterpiece. And that's exactly what I do with our clan as well. When I'm recording these videos, of course, it really helps that teaching is my flow state task activity, meaning that when I do it, I just naturally don't have any thoughts in my head in the first place. But I don't even need to, because when I advance my creativity, of course, I pull all of this effort anytime that I want to. Well, yeah, it helps that it is my flow state task, but it helps even further because of this tip as well. And I can just talk for hours on end, for minutes, for so long without stopping the recording a single fucking time. That's how powerful this is. Every time I record these videos, I thought I completely tap into my subconscious mind and I create masterpieces that hook me for hours on end. And also, just a little side note, I'm not saying that you should not completely think consciously whilst you're expanding your creativity through this tip. Of course, you want to have like an 80-20% split, so like 80% subconscious and 20% conscious. Meaning that, let's use an example. When we were drawing the biomes, so like the deserts, for example, we were using like the real life examples where the deserts are located in our current world. So when we have the equator, that's where the most of the deserts are located. So we put that on our map as well. So of course, you don't want to be completely unconscious whilst you're doing it, because otherwise you wouldn't be present at all and you would be sleeping. Because, of course, sleeping is basically just being 100% subconscious. Okay? So create this 80-20% split. And whilst you're indulging in your inner adult, so you're doing the important things like working out, like meditating, like gratitude journaling, working on your business, talking to women. Eh, well, when it comes to relationships, you should be a little bit subconscious as well, but that is like 70 to 30% ratio. But when it comes to like the real man's work, it's like creating progress in something that will last for the long term and something that brings us a sense of fulfillment and purpose, you should do that 80-20% subconscious split. That will be completely powerful and it will bring you into new heights never seen before. Okay? If you want to join a community where we discuss our mental health and full of like-minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day to surpass you in the race of men, but at the same time, they will be like your true blood-bonded brothers, with whom you can talk about any kind of topic that you need to, even with the most awkward stories that you may have. They will give you life advice, no matter what. Then you should join our Discord clan in the description. I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, that you have way more potential than you think you have. So please, join us on the path towards greatness and leave the 99% of people behind. I know that you'll find your place in there, and we will take good care of you. But besides that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description, and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most, and which part of the video you will implement in your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. If you want to learn about healthy mindsets that will guarantee you success in the short term and in the long term by absolutely mending the fuck out of your mental health and bring you into new states of consciousness with new ways of thinking that will put you on the right path, no matter what, no matter the situation, then I highly suggest that you should go check out Timeless Reader's Mindsets. It is truly something life-changing, and you would be a fool to miss out. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you